Israel set a new record in defence exports last year, with revenues reaching $12.5 billion. A quarter of sales went to countries which normalised ties with Israel under the Abraham Accords, and UAVs and drones accounted for the largest proportion of those sales. We're here to talk about this latest evidence of the growing cooperation between Israel and its partners is Ruth Wasserman-Land, former member of the Knesset and former co-chair of the Abraham Accords caucus. Great to have you with us, Ruth. So a significant proportion of those sales did go to countries that normalised with Israel under the Abraham Accords. Would you say that's a trend that's set to continue?
In my humble opinion, yes. I think that was one of the reasons that the Abraham Accords were signed, not only, of course, but definitely the strategic and security cooperation and the ability to not only sell weapons and technology, but also to do research and development in that sector and many other sectors. There's medicine, there are other issues, but definitely technology and security-oriented technology is one of the strongest aspects of the cooperation.
And Ruth, which countries within that group accounted for the largest sales, and why?
I would say the UAE setting the pace was very significant, but also Morocco. There was the visit, if you recall, of the Minister of Defense, the very first visit of an official Minister of Defense of the State of Israel, even though we did have diplomatic relations in the past with Morocco, with the Kingdom of Morocco, but this was the first time a Minister of Defense actually stepped on Moroccan soil. Even high-ranking Israeli officers were in uniform in Morocco at the time, and large deals, significant deals, I don't want to say huge, but one could also look at them as huge deals, were signed by the two sides. It does seem as if I would say challenges facing the countries in the region, whether Morocco facing certain countries, but certainly in the GCC facing the Iranian threat, the potential Iranian threat, and others do want to bounce up the ability and the capabilities that they have on the security front.
Well, as you pointed out, defence cooperation is clearly a linchpin, isn't it, of the Abraham Accords? But are there some security risks when it comes to Israel sharing its sensitive technology and expertise in defence? We've got Iran's rapprochement with Saudi Arabia. We're now hearing that Bahrain is also about to do the same. Can the Abraham Accords advance further when these countries also cooperate with Iran?
So first of all, I think, to me at least, and the Saudis made it clear, but I feel that those who understand deeply into either Saudi-Iranian relations or other countries in the GCC, their relations with Iran, it does not nullify or put in danger the relations with Israel. That is not to say that Israel should not be vigilant and concerned, always on our tiptoes, but the fact that the Saudis do not want the Iranian intervention in Yemen, for example, or trying to stabilize the region in terms of the threats and the instability pertaining to their own security and also their own economic stability, that is one thing. Promoting their own interests in terms of security, in terms of economy, in terms of technology, in terms of their ties with other countries in the international arena via close ties with Israel does not necessarily stand alone. As we could see, we saw this with the UAE, we saw this with Morocco, we saw this with Bahrain. We see it now as the Arab League actually brings Syria closer, brings it back after years into the Arab League, and yet it doesn't mean that everything is rosy and they fell in love once more with Assad. No. It means that they're going to keep their eyes on him. It's better to have him within than without. They saw that his hand is the upper hand, unfortunately, in the region, and they do not want to exclude either him or Syria. It doesn't mean that they agree either with his policy or would agree to anything that happens within Syria itself.
Ruth, thank you very much indeed. Ruth Wasserman-Land there.